Hey, how you doing? It's the Faceless Preacher coming at you again. And I'm coming at you with this message. I made a video before about Halloween, but I just wanted to make sure I make it one for this week since it's going to be celebrated this weekend. Now, again, I'll say it again for the last time. No self-proclaimed Christian should be celebrating this satanic holiday. Now, I'm going to be very specific, and you can go and look on YouTube about this. There is a guy, his name is John Ramirez. He's an ex-Satanist, which means he used to worship the devil. He explains, and it's a good video, you look it up, it's on YouTube. Just put John Ramirez, John Ramirez, Ramirez. John Ramirez. This guy, he used to be an ex-Satanist. He used to worship the devil. And he goes into detail how witches and warlocks, they pray over this candy that you let your kids be susceptible for. They pray witchcraft curses over this candy. So I'm not saying everybody does it, but to even take that chance to go to strangers' houses and get your candy, even if it's in your own neighborhood, you don't know what people are really doing behind closed doors. You don't know what these people are doing. And I mean, if you think about it from like a regular standpoint, like some of these people's houses you're taking your kids to, would you go there and have a meal? Would you eat there? Okay. Now, if that's even a doubt whether you will eat there or not, like, why would you have your kids susceptible to that candy that they buy when you can go out and buy your own candy? You know, this is just the craziness behind Halloween. Okay, you go out, you have your kids outside at night, okay, and people are dressed up in masks, so you can't identify who they are. just think about it. Just take all the tradition out. Take the whole fact that you might have done this growing up, because I've done it growing up. But I don't have to follow just what everybody else does just because it's something to do or tradition. You know, even says in the Bible, Jesus even says you disregard the word of the Lord based off of your tradition. This is in the word of God. This is in the Bible. So, like, say you take out your kids, you're taking them to people's houses, some people's houses that you've never even been inside before, their house. And you're allowing them to take their candy that they bought from who knows where. And then you have to check the candy. This is the thing I just can't wrap my head around how my kids do this. You have to check the candy to make sure there's no crazy stuff in it. Make sure there's no like just bad candy or open wrappers or stuff. When you could just go out and just say, forget tradition. If my kids want candy, I can go buy them candy myself. My kids want to dress up, I let them dress up. If they want to dress up, they could dress up themselves. But the fact to base it on this holiday of Halloween and call it a holiday when it's based off of the root of All Hallows Eve and something called the Day of the Dead, El Dia de los Muertos, which basically is, just look this guys up. I'm not making this up. It's basically it's a Hispanic tradition. It's basically, or Latino tradition. It's basically honoring your ancestors that also actually passed away. I mean, it's just like, I can't make this up. This stuff is so demonic. Like, and why do we do it? We do it just because we want to have our kids feel happy or something like that. But to think about it this way. Now, my kids have never celebrated Halloween, never. But not just because they didn't want to. Not that they didn't want to or want to. It was just because I never I never made them susceptible to it. You take a regular kid, like I was at my job the other day, and there's this kid who goes in the store and he's in the Halloween section. And you can tell he's uncomfortable. He don't like it because kids are innocent. They don't like all that bones and death. And that's what it represents. A skull represents death. They don't like that, seeing all that stuff. But what does the parent say? Oh, you're not scared. It's okay. You'll be fine. See, we have to condition our children to be okay with ghouls and ghosts and blood and fake blood and all this stuff and demonic stuff, dressing up as devils, dressing up as all this stuff. And why even do that? Why even take our kids through that? I mean, why? Because this is just what tradition is. It's just tradition. This is how the enemy is. He's deceptive. He's deceptive. The enemy is deceptive. And he goes after the child all the time. Think about it in Egypt. What did he go after? He threw all the babies, all the babies of the Israelites in the Nile. All the male babies. Okay, let's go back to the time when Jesus was born. When Jesus was born, Herod went into effect to try to kill Jesus and killed all the babies 2 and under in the time where he was at in Bethlehem. But Jesus' parents, Joseph and Mary, Joseph was warned in a dream, so he fled and went to Egypt. But just think about it that way. The devil's always after the seed. The devil's always after the babies, the kids. Because if he gets you as a kid, then he knows that he has you. He has you. That's why if you notice when they go through things in their lives, they always go back to something stressful happened as a kid, or I was molested as a kid, or this happened to me as a kid, and it seems like the rest of their life is affected just by that situation that happened as a kid. Make sure you protect your children. You don't have to take your kids out at night and go to strangers. And I'm just telling you what they do. You don't have to take your kids out at night and go to strangers' houses at night and get their candy and give them to your kids. Just for the sake of feeling like you belong to something, or it's just something that you've done all your life. Believe me, like I said again, I've done it before. I used to like doing that when I was a kid. But I'm older. Like it says, when we become older, we put childish things behind us. So I got older and I started understanding the behind scenes about what this holiday is and the farce that's in front of our eyes and what the enemy tries to do. Like I said, John Ramirez goes into detail, and I all encourage you guys to look this guy up, John Ramirez. This guy goes into detail of all the satanic things he used to do on Halloween. All the satanic things he used to do. He had a satanic wedding on Halloween. He said many of the people would do things. This man would get paid to put curses on people. I'm trying to tell you, this is, and he's exposing what he used to do when he was under the enemy's clutches, when he was under the enemy's bondage. Now he's out. Now he's exposing the deeds of the darkness. What we should all be doing as Christians. We don't need to make a substitute for Halloween. Even the trunk or treat stuff. Why even do that? The enemy doesn't make a substitute for Good Friday or Resurrection Sunday. Why should we feel like you ask? Go ahead. You go ask atheists. You go ask the people who might not believe in God or something like that. Do they go out on Easter and or Resurrection Sunday and say, "Oh, I'm going to celebrate this"? No. They don't do that, guys. So why are we doing that for Halloween? Why are we doing when it's obviously... Come on, just turn on your TV. What do you see when you watch Halloween? What do you see? What do you see around this time? You see witch movies. You see commercials with spells. Now in my Bible, I don't know about yours, but in my Bible, if we were in the same Bible, it says, "Suffer not a witch to live." That's what was in the law. That's what it says in the Bible. Suffer not a witch to live. That means a witch's life is so demonic and abomination to God that God would rather a witch die than for that witch to live. That's what that verse actually means. Suffer, not a witch to live. That's what a witch would be better off dying than living out her judgment and becoming more judged. That's what that verse means. So I'm just letting you guys know, like, And just think about it this way. I mean, would Jesus want your kid dressed up as Freddy Krueger in Halloween? I mean, would your kid want you? Well, I mean, even if you say, "Oh, well, my kid, we dress up as biblical character for Halloween." I'm saying, why even do that? I mean, if you want your kids to dress up, let them go out and have a dress up time, but not on Halloween, because when you do that on Halloween, it's adding to the celebration of a demonic holiday. That's just what it is. So I'll just make this as short as I can, and that's it. That's all I'll go with. Now, remember, guys, I mean, now you know. If you've seen this video, even if it's just one person, now you know. Now, if you're convicted to stop. Listen to your conviction. If not, it's between you and God. But now you know. As I said, John Ramirez, look him up if you truly want to know truth about Halloween. All right, guys. I'm glad that you watched. I really appreciate it that you see my video, and hopefully I'll make even more videos in the future. So, catch you later.